Today I'm reviewing a watch that I think brings up a little bit of a moral dilemma, and that means I'm going to want your thoughts in the comments section below. Today I'm reviewing the WM216, an automatic field piece that packs in a lot of solid specifications for around $150. You can find it in the link in the description. However, this one resembles something incredibly familiar, and that's why it's got me a little bit on the fence. So I want you to tell me, has this Chinese brand taken it a little bit too far? My name's Jason, I'm your watch guy today. Let's get into it. So this is WM's latest release, a titanium field watch that really packs a punch in the value range, with a sapphire crystal, an NH35 movement, a titanium case and bracelet, as well as a fully loomed dial. All of that for $150, or if you don't pay in Monopoly money, £120. It's a really enjoyable watch to wear, and I think that a lot of people would really enjoy having something like this in their collection. I think that everyone needs a solid field watch, and my favourite type is a titanium piece. The lighter material is always a massive help in my opinion. The issue that I actually have here is that this one is blatantly a very heavy homage to a bold adventure. A watch that I've actually owned in the past and I thought was an absolute bargain when I bought it, but I'll get back to that later on. The casing works really well for my smaller wrists with a 38mm diameter, and I think that's the ideal sizing for a field piece. Even better than that, the case has a sandblasted effect finish to it, which I think gives it a much more urban, rugged style look to it. And that's exactly what I want in a utility watch, and that is exactly what I see this piece as. I love the crown, and it's definitely owed completely to Boulder, but it is also signed with the WM logo, and it has this incredible grenade-like shape to it. It has a 100-meter water resistance rating, and that's probably owed to the screw-down crown as well as the screw-down case back, which, by the way, is completely unsigned. It's reasonably sized throughout with an 11.5mm thickness and a 44mm lug-to-lug. Definitely sitting in my everyday wear type of range. That is also helped by the sharp angles to the lugs and those sharp chamfers along the edge. I think it gives a little bit more depth to the case overall. Now, I obviously went for the white dial in this instance, and that's because I think it's a beautiful proposition. There are two reasons for that. The first is pretty simple. It looks better than the black. Secondly, but more importantly, it is a full loom dial, and I can't wait to show you that loom shot. Now, this isn't something that Boulder actually offers in this type of setup, only in their slightly more expensive pieces with the DLC finish to them. The hour markings, the minute track, and the logo is all printed in black to accent that loom dial. To follow that, the handset has a black border to it to keep that aesthetic cohesive throughout the piece. The syringe handset is certainly a functional yet attractive addition to the watch, providing a more accurate point to the tips for more legibility. The sweep to the paddle second hand is owed to the NH35 movement. That does mean that we do have a ghost date position here. This is a well-proven movement and something that we know way too much about at this point. Personally, I think it is the ideal choice for this type of level. It keeps the price really reasonable, but gives us that automatic boost to the specifications. Now, one thing that I do think is a little bit different here is that they've also loomed the handset. I personally probably would have gone without that and used the negative black to really highlight the handset. I don't mind it too much, and I don't think many people will. Otherwise, it's a good loom. Now, I do have this piece on the titanium bracelet that will up the price slightly. It will come in at £130 or around $170. I think that little bit of added cash is definitely worth it in this case, but I wouldn't blame you if you wanted a field piece on a nylon band. The bracelet is much slimmer than average, and I really like what that does to the wearability of the piece. As well as that, they do seem shorter, and we do have a good level of micro adjustment throughout. The clasp has a simple signature to it, and we have double pushers in this case. But the 6 levels of micro adjustment is what really does it for me. It makes it possible to get the absolute perfect fit for any wrist size. Genuinely, the only two moans I have for this watch as a piece itself and not the idea is that I would have really liked, and I think they really do need, some anti-scratch treatment to it being a titanium piece. As well as that, not signing the case back seems a little bit lazy to me. I don't know, what do you guys think? That being said, I really do need to speak about the inspiration behind the piece. The Boulder Venture is a very affordable watch and very capable in its own right. For a similar setup, you'd be looking at £230 without the bracelet and the lume dial. Personally, I think it's a stunning deal considering the added benefit of that warranty, a well-known brand, and I'm pretty sure they do have some anti-scratch treatment to the case. As well as that, 200 meters of water resistance, it's not something that you need in a field watch, but it's definitely helpful. When you look past the slightly added specifications, I genuinely think that the Boulder would be a much more enjoyable purchase. Now, I understand it is £100 more expensive than this piece, and to some people that is a lot of money. And that's exactly why these watches on Aliexpress do so well. But personally, I think going after newly established brands that are still in the budget market might be a little bit too far for me. And I know that this comes across as me maybe marketing or advertising the piece for you, but what I'm actually doing is giving you a genuine opinion. I think it's an interesting conversation that we should have. I genuinely don't really think that Rolex or Tudor or the likes of them are that arsed about anything on AliExpress because they're a different world. When you're just slightly outside of that market price, I think it leaves a little bit of a bad taste in the mouth. That's exactly why I took this one in for review, because I wanted to have this discussion with you. Now, it is linked in the description. That is part of the agreement that I have with WM, that I would link this watch for you. But I also want you to consider what you think about this and leave me a comment. Tell me if I'm completely wrong, it's just a homage, it's harmless, or tell me if maybe I'm a little bit right. Thanks for watching today, guys. I appreciate that WM have sent this in for review, and I appreciate that they allow me to have my own opinion on this review and be completely honest with you. I think that's genuinely the only way to approach this type of video. Now, if you were interested in it or any of the other WM pieces, they are linked in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more watch content on your feed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 15,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching today. I will see you in the next one.